I was riding the coattails of some legendary criminals.
The Keaton, Holden gang, people like Frank Jelly Nash, they're all names that figured prominently in bank robbery.
Robbing a bank ain't no small thing. Those first few times, I was feeling the pressure.
He would get physically sick, that he'd be vomiting before going on a job. That's a clear indication that you're not cut out for this, really.
As a bank robber, you know, he was just another guy. He was nothing special.
Everything changed the moment I met my wonderful wife-to-be, Catherine.
She grew up in an Oklahoma brothel, where apparently she did more than just make the eggs.
She was a woman who enjoyed the good life, and with no real means of attaining it.
Catherine was glamorous, she was attractive, she loved the spotlight, and she was a bad girl. She was a spitfire. She was full of sass, and she wanted it all.
And what Catherine wanted, Catherine got.
Catherine Kelly really wanted her husband to be thought of as a tougher guy. You know, so she was always bragging around Dallas and Fort Worth about how connected he was and all the dangerous criminals he knew. She decided to buy him a machine gun.
One story that was spread was that Machine Gun Kelly was so good with a machine gun, he could actually write his name on a wall.
And then she would take spent shells from the machine gun and sort of leave them around the various speakeasies and bars that she'd frequent. And she'd talk about how George was getting so good with the machine gun that he could shoot walnuts off a fence line.
She essentially served as his underground press agent, spreading these stories.
That's how I got my name, and a legend is born.
He wasn't particularly vicious, and he didn't like violence very much, oddly, given his name.
I think if you spent 10 minutes with the guy, you realize, I don't care how often he can write his name with a Tommy gun, he's certainly not going to shoot me in anger.
He really didn't like to operate with a machine gun like that. He didn't really want to fire it in the process of robbing a bank because it would draw too much attention. He'd just walk in all dressed up like he was one of their major depositors. He'd have a .38 in a shoulder holster, and he'd basically just charm the money out of the bank tellers.